What's going on, guys? Dustin right here on how we're gonna get to 100%. So today, as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm a little under the weather, but that doesn't matter because life's still moving, so I'm still moving. We're gonna get closer and closer to 100%, even if we have the sniffles. All right? So today, we're gonna talk about 6% listings, right? Right now, the real estate market is on fire. Listings are the gold in the real estate market. How do you get 6% listings in a market where the sellers have most of the control? How do you do it? How come cutting your commission doesn't work? How come it's so hard to get full commission listings in this real estate market? Let's get into it. Let's go over why, and let's get 6% listings so we can get closer to 100%. So you guys know what's coming. Go ahead and please subscribe if you're new to the channel so I can grow and grow as big as I possibly can to reach out to more and more people to get them to 100%. Post notifications and smash the like button so the YouTube algorithm can put me in front of new people and let me help them. Guys, let's get into the video. How do you get 6% listings? Let's go.
I'll make a brand new start of it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we're going to talk about, number one, is facts, right? How you get 6% listings is by saying facts about the real estate market, about what happens when you cut your commission, right? You have to talk about these things with the seller so they can understand why paying a 6% commission is in their best interest. Some of you may be saying, what are you talking about, these facts? You set a listing appointment, you go on the listing, and they deduct your commission. Well, let's talk about some facts we can use, right? So some conversations I have with the seller a lot of the times, right? I want to deduct your commission from 6%. Now, the 6% commission is split into two, isn't it? 3 and 3. 3 to the listing agent, 3 to the buyer's agent. So here's a factual question I asked the seller. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, if we deducted the commission from 6% to 5% and we had to split the commission up to 2.5% and 2.5%, do you think the buyer's agent is more motivated to show your home rather than the competition at 3%? They may say, it doesn't matter what they say. Oh, that's not ethical. Oh, that, the seller's going to say what they say, right? And then you just state, you ask them a question. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, if you had a job interview, right, and that job compared to the other job, the 2 interviews you went on, one of them paid more, which job would you take, Mr. or Mrs. Seller? Oh, well, I want the job that pays more. Exactly. So as you can see, a 6% commission would be in your best interest to net you the most amount of money. Well, how does that net me the most amount of money if I'm spending more on commission? Ma'am or sir, do you think it's in your best interest to have the most amount of realtors in the property to increase our chances of getting the most amount of money for the home? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. So do you think if we missed out on agents showing your home due to a lower pay, do you think that could affect us creating a multiple offer situation, even in a market like this? Absolutely. See, what we're doing is we're creating doubt in the seller's mind that if they don't pay for a full service listing, they're not going to get the most amount of money for the property. Because at the end of the day, the only thing the sellers are focused on is netting the most amount of money. So if anything you say isn't revolved around the seller netting the most amount of money by stating facts, you're never going to get a 6% listing. I know people that offer 4% listings all day long before they even sit in front of a seller, and they still can't get listings. You see, the thing is, a lot of sellers, from what I've understood, even if you deduct your commission, they're still not going to go with you. The reason being is what they're doing is testing you with the question. Will you deduct your commission? Yeah, we can deduct it. Or if you state, no, we cannot deduct our commission, and here's the reasons why. And if the reasons why are in the seller's best interest, you're going to get a 6% listing. But if you crumble like a cookie, all right, and yeah, I could take a 4% listing, sure. You have commission breath. It doesn't look very strong to the seller, okay? So use facts to create doubt that if they don't use a 6% listing, they're not going to net the most amount of money, because that is very true. All right, let's move on to number two. Number two, okay, value yourself, right? I struggle with this one a little bit. Reason being, I'm 23. I'm in the real estate business. I sit in front of millionaires sometimes. They have homes that are 3,000-4,000 square foot on the water, on the Gulf. I mean, some of these situations, as you can imagine, being a 23-year-old kid, or let's say young man, the situations where I have to value myself presented a little rocky, right? So that's why this is number two out of the three most important things you need to do to get a 6% listing, because of a little bit of what I just said, right? Those agents that immediately jump to cut their commission at 4% or 5%, it shows that you're a weak agent. It shows that you're not strong, right? So in that sense, we need to show the seller that we're a strong individual when it comes to selling real estate. This is no joke, because a lot of real estate agents do not take this business seriously. So we have to make ourselves look like this is the most important thing in the world, which it is. And if it's not, it might not be the right business for you. So when you value yourself, the seller asks, I'm not going to list with you for 6%. That's just not going to happen. No, I completely understand, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, but I do not reduce my commission. Can I tell you why? Why? Well, you see, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the agent that's willing to reduce their commission isn't going to be strong enough when we run into an appraisal issue. Do you know what happens when the property doesn't appraise for what the property is being bought for by the mortgage company? They may say, oh, well, we might have cash offers, we might have this, we might have that. Okay, so what is the most important thing to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when it comes to selling the home? They're going to say either a smooth transaction or top dollar. Those are usually the two reasons a seller wants to sell a home. Quickly, for the most amount of money, right? So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, something as big as the purchase of your home, would you agree that deducting the very thing that sells the home, do you think that would be in your best interest to net you the most amount of money? They might say things along the line of, no, if I save on the commission, I'll save in the net. If I hire an agent at 4%, I'll be able to save. No, I completely understand. I completely understand. Now, my question is, knowing that using a 6% listing and an agent that charges 6% to sell your home, and statistically speaking, sell it for 10 to 15 more percent than your agent that would take it at a 4% listing, my question to you would be, is it more principle, or are you really looking to sell your home for the most amount of money? And, you know, sometimes you have to ask those hard questions, because that's the reality of the situation. We have to ask these hard questions to the seller, because what we're doing is we're establishing strength, right? I'm a strong agent, and I'm going to sell this home and do a great job for you. But unfortunately, there's no discount for that, you know? So what you're doing is you're valuing yourself to a T. I know I'm going to do a great job. I have the most powerful people in the industry behind me to do that great job. But unfortunately, for me to do that and provide that level of service, I cannot deduct my commission, because every time I work with a seller, they are very happy that I do a great job. In order for me to do that, unfortunately, we just cannot cut costs. Will you list your home with me at 6% for this price today? And you ask the question. A lot of people don't get listings just based on the fact that they don't ask for the signature. So these are very important things to getting the 6% listing, because we're going to get to 100%. Number three, this is the tough one, right? This is the last one that we have to ask ourselves, right? So if the seller's not budging, they won't list for 4%. This has happened many a times. I've had to do it myself. And this is where you ask yourself, are you willing to take a discounted commission and have your standard be that way? Or are you going to be willing to walk? I've had situations where I've left the listing and the seller called me back and still listed their home with me. Now, the reason that is because I do value myself. You know, I've worked years and years on becoming a great agent and doing a great job. Now, a lot of agents will discount their commission, and you will lose some listings due to that. You will. It's just a fact. But what do you do in that situation? Just get more listings. Just go out and get more. If a seller does not list with you because you won't deduct your commission, well, you have to ask yourself two questions. Am I willing to throw away the few $1,000s? Or am I going to hold myself to my standard because that's how I value myself? See, sometimes you don't have to look at it in the aspect of the money, right? You have to see what you're willing to do and how willing you are to let the seller push on you. You know, that's an internal question, right? Are you willing to walk? I know many people in the industry that are not willing to walk away. And that's just the way this market is. So in order for us to get closer and closer to 100% in the real estate industry, we have to use facts to let the seller know what's in their best interest. We have to value ourselves because we are valuable. We're 100%. I mean, come on. And then we have to be willing to walk away, because a man who can walk away from a deal needs no one. You know? So you're establishing your strength. You're growing as a person. You're growing as a real estate agent, because we're getting to 100% no matter what. So continue watching, because we're not done.